Crude oil prices have surged more than 2%. The Saudi oil minister says OPEC should agree to extend a production cut. Cartel members and other major producers are due to meet in 2 weeks' time. The volatility in the oil markets follows the IEA, the International Energy Agency, predicting an historic shift for the global economy. The US is set for the biggest growth in gas production of any country in history. Currently, 24 million, of course, barrels of oil and gas every day are produced, the most of any country in the world. The IEA says that number is set to soar to 30 million by mid-next decade. Gary Evans is the chief exec of the independent oil company Energy Hunter Resources. He joins me from Florida. Gary, I feel like I'm sort of the poacher or the gamekeeper. Here I am in Saudi Arabia, which churns out so much for OPEC. But the reality is, what's happening where you are in the US is potentially the biggest threat to the income to Saudi and co.
No question, the United States oil and gas industry has been a huge thorn in the side of the Saudi Arabia, as well as all OPEC countries that are producing oil worldwide.
If that is the case, how does the U.S., as the new swing producer, if it has any control over the price other than market forces, because they don't have the ability to turn the tap on or off other than as the price rises or falls?
Well, it's a very good point. You have to remember that the United States was prohibited by a law that lasted over 40 years to export crude oil. That law was changed by the Obama administration at the end of 2015. So now the United States competes with OPEC, which has never done before, by exporting crude oil. And we've hit over 2.5 million barrels a day at times. So we are now becoming an exporter that's competing directly with OPEC members. And that's something that Saudi Arabia or other members of OPEC never intended on, is that U.S. shale industry could be this resilient. We learned how to live with $27 oil when it hit 27. We're now at 56. And we continue to get better and better at what we do. So economics have improved, and the cost of doing business has continued to excel in our industry. And I think it's completely shocked Saudi Arabia as well as other countries.
The fascinating part, of course, is that the geopolitical instability that might exist in this part of the world where I am tonight pushes up the price, thereby increasing the profits also in the United States. It's a sort of win-win in a sense for the US. Price is low, they will produce more. Price is high, it's a windfall.
Yeah, but in reality today, we probably have the smallest geopolitical premium in the price of oil than we've ever had in history. With all the things going on around the world, oil should be a whole lot higher. But that is not priced into the market. So what we've been having to do for the last 2.5 to 3 years is whittle down this huge oversupply of crude oil that existed in tankers around the world, existed in storage facilities, and that's whittling down. Go ahead.
Gary, finally, in your view, is the US's role in all of this? I mean, is it just a nuisance in the sense of it's disrupting what was otherwise maybe a valid one from your point of view, but actually it's a disruptor in what was otherwise a sort of duopoly market?
No question that Saudi Arabia had the spigots. They could turn the oil production up, or they could cut it back. All you have to do is look back for the last 35, 40 years of history, and you can see all the different times when they adjusted crude oil prices worldwide. For the first time, they have a country like the United States that's producing significant amounts of crude oil that's being exported, and they have zero control of us. So it makes their job a whole lot more difficult.
Gary, great to have you. We must have you more often, please, on Quest Means Business. We look forward to talking to you on oil issues in the future. Thank you, sir, for taking time tonight.